Hello, this is Faith at Faith and Books. How are you doing? I didn't expect to do another video so soon. I just did one yesterday, but I saw that the Classics Club had come out with a new spin. And if you're not familiar with that, the Classics Club, what you do to join is you have to have a list posted somewhere on a blog or Goodreads or something of 50 classics you want to read and by what year or what date you want to have them all read. And then what they do is, I think it's 4 times a year, they ask you to select 20 of the books that you want to read, and they do a spin, and they come up with a number between 1 and 20, and that's the number that you're supposed to read, and then they give you a deadline. So the next spin is this Sunday, April 19th, and whatever number book it is, you're supposed to get it read by June 1st. So since I am doing a year of reading one's own, I'm not buying any new books. First of all, my list of books, my 50 classics that I want to read, I keep changing it. So the one that I have officially posted is kind of only barely resembles what I'm actually doing because I just keep playing with it. But this time what I did was, since I'm not buying any new books and I can't go to the library, I could do ebooks, still haven't figured that one out. So I'm going to, I can download free books from the internet, but I'm not doing the library ebooks because I can't figure it out. Anyway, what I did was I shopped my bookshelves and I came up with 20 books that I would like to read. I'm cheating a little bit because there's some books that I've already started reading or I'd already planned to read pretty soon, like in May. So I put those in too. I don't know if that's cheating or not, but that's how I did it. So I'm going to show you my 20 books that I hauled from my own bookshelf. And before I begin that, 2 things I want to say. One, my daughter-in-law is being induced at 8 a.m. in Boston. So we may have a grandchild today or maybe tomorrow, depending on how long she's in labor. So that's really exciting, and I'm just going to be praying all day, waiting to hear the news. And the other thing was that I've gotten a couple of comments about all the bird sounds, the bird song in the background when I'm on my porch. And I think we have so many birds because I live at the top of a little hill, and just below me is the little copse of woods. And then you go down a little further and there's a pond. And then just beyond that, you go down the hill a little further and it goes into a ravine, which is a floodplain. So even though I live in a highly built up area, just minutes away from a major metropolitan area, literally 8 minutes away, and right next to a really busy road, you can hear the traffic. This little area, like all the wildlife has been pushed into this little area. So we have so many deer. I've had foxes living in my yard, raccoons, groundhogs, I don't know what, just everything you can think of. And the birds, because of the pond, we have a lot of red-winged blackbirds, and they're pretty vocal. And then we have lots of robins and cardinals, and what else do you have? Mockingbirds, all kinds of birds. We really have a lot, and sometimes a great blue heron comes to visit the pond. We have lots of hawks and crows and all sparrows, all your regular birds, but we have lots of them. So anyway, that's why we have that lovely background of bird song all the time, especially now in the spring. Anyway, so this is my haul, my bookshelf haul of the 20 classics that I picked out, and on Sunday I'll find out which one I'm going to be reading. So the first one is the Odes of Horace. This was my aunt's book. I inherited, and what I like about it is on one side is the Latin, and then on the other side is the English. So that would be kind of fun to read and see how much I can understand. And I noticed that when I was going through this, that my aunt had read about this book in the newspaper. I wish I knew the date. And that made her go and get this particular translation. It's translated by David Ferry. Excuse me. So that's choice number 1. Choice number 2 is pretty hefty. I had to haul all these books out here to my porch. Democracy in America by Alex de Tocqueville. And this is, absolutely mammoth. So I think I would just read excerpts, like I'd go through and pick out chapters. I might ask my daughter, who majored in politics and who really likes Alex de Tocqueville, which excerpts might be the best to read. But that's my number 2. Let's see, what else do I have here? The Daughter of Time. Now I'm cheating on this because I already started reading this. Started reading it 2 days ago, so I'm already a little bit in. But this is a mystery by Josephine Tey. I think it's considered kind of a classic, and it's about this inspector, I guess he's Scotland Yard, who is laid up in the hospital with a broken leg and a concussed back, whatever that means. And he decides to solve the mystery of the 2 princes in the tower that got murdered supposedly by Richard III. So that's that, and I'm already reading it. It's quite good. I'm really enjoying it. The next one is, I stuck all these in a box. I gotta reach over here. Is Utopia by Thomas More. In fact, they refer to Thomas More in this Daughter of Time. This is just, it's not a very thick book at all. My daughter read it for her politics, and she said it's just kind of bizarre. But I've been curious about it for years. So that's number 4 on my list. Then the next one, it would be a reread. I read this a long time ago. I went through an Isaak Dinesen phase when I was in college. And this was the same exact copy that my parents had that I when I first read her. I just love this book. And I hauled this last November. I found that this is the same exact edition that my parents had. So Out of Africa, I would love to reread that. Let's see. Purgatorio. Let's see, I have to get up and look for this. Where is it? Uh-oh. Maybe it's over here. Sorry. Not very organized. Oh, yeah. Okay, so here we go. Purgatorio, the Divine Comedy. I've only read the Inferno. I'm so ashamed of myself. So this is a translation by Dorothy L. Sayers. And I've heard that she has really good footnotes that really explain things well, but maybe the translation is a little bit clunky. And then I have also this recent translation by Anthony Isolin, and he is like a really conservative Catholic professor. I don't always agree with him, theologically or culturally, but I do think that he's probably really excellent when it comes to language and translating things. So I might just, if this is my pick, if this is the winner of the spin, I might go back and forth with these 2 translations just to see, to compare and contrast. The other, let's see, the next one, number 7. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Mythology by Edith Hamilton. And I actually started this. I've got just a few pages in. But I started this when I was studying for my National Latin exam, which, by the way, I only got 2 wrong. And apparently it was a more difficult test, so they really curved it. So I have a gold medal. I'm going to get a gold medal for that. So anyway, this is pick number 7, Mythology by Edith Hamilton. The next one is the short stories of Flannery O'Connor. So I've only read a couple of her stories, and I found her really gruesome. She just went right over my head. But then I've been hearing ever since how wonderful she is and how great she is. And so I want to go back and try to learn to appreciate her. And this is a collection of short stories that I got from my aunt, so I might as well read them. So that's pick number 8. The next one's also a collection of short stories, The Complete Prose Tales of Alexander Sergeyevich Pushkin. And my son, the one who's about to have a baby, or his wife is rather, he gave this to me several Christmases ago, I think, or maybe for my birthday, and I never read it. Sorry, honey. But I would like to read it. I mean, it's on my TBR list for sure. So that is number 9. And then I keep having these collections of short stories. Let's see. And this is another book that the same son recommended to me, and I bought it used. Favorite Tales of Sholom Eleichem. I talked about this before, the guy who wrote the stories that Fiddler on the Roof was based on. And I'm several stories in. I've been reading it for a while. So just off and on, reading a story here and there. So I've already started on that one. Let's see. Then I was going to do the 4 quartets by T.S. Eliot, because I had it in a slim volume, and then right next to it I had Thomas Howard's The Dove Descending, which is an analysis. That's a trash truck over there. I can't find them. I don't know where they disappeared to. So I put that down without, having a checking, and I couldn't find them. So I've replaced it with Tarka the Otter, because that's going to be my May nature read. So, and that's considered a classic of nature writing. So I have to change this. So instead of 4 quartets, it's going to be Tarka the Otter. Number 12, I have on my Kindle, it's A Marble Faun by Nathaniel Hawthorne. I've been trying to read all his works. Number 13 is, where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Bleak House. I've been wanting to read this for ages. This is going to be a chunkster for the Chunkster Challenge, which I've never sent money in. I need to do my donation for the Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. That was my first chunkster. I'll be lucky if I get 3 chunksters in this year, I think. But anyway, I've been wanting to read this for ages. Hopefully I'll get it done. That might be the classic spin, though. So that would be an incentive to get it read sooner rather than later. Let's see. Keep going off camera here, sorry. Number 14 was, this is just sort of an impulse thing, The Three Musketeers. So actually this would be a reread, I think. When I was in high school, my sister and I saw the movie The Three Musketeers, and we developed a crush on Michael York. And my younger sister was a little more intense about it than I was. But she actually read The Three Musketeers, and I remember being really intimidated by it, like, whoa, it's so thick and everything. But then I'm pretty sure I wound up reading it too. But maybe I only read parts of it. I don't remember. But a few years ago, I was at a Barnes & Noble, and they had the, buy 2, get 1 free sort of sale, and this was book number 3. So anyway, so I've been wanting to read this for a while, so maybe I will now, The Three Musketeers. Okay, that was pick 14. Pick 15 is Civilization by Kenneth Clark. Again, I've talked about this before. This is my mother's book, and sort of a history of Western civilization, focusing on art and architecture. And I've been wanting to read this for ages too. So that is number 15. Number 16 is, right, I have to get up. Oh, let me get these. Till We Have Faces by C.S. Lewis. Again, I've been wanting to reread this for a long time. Might as well use the classic spin as an excuse to do so. The next one is Pilgrim's Progress. I'm already reading it. I'm doing a buddy read with Patrice Jones. So I'm up to page 64. So I'm already started on that. Let's see. And then the next is Master and Margarita, which is a reread. I read it ages and ages ago. And I was inspired by Jason at Old Blues Chapter and Verse to reread it. So that's on my list to reread in May. And then I just found these 2 books on my shelves. This one, I don't know how I got it. I must have inherited it from somebody. It's The Leopard by Lampedusa. And I have no idea what it's about. I think it is considered somewhat of a classic. It's an Italian classic. I don't know. So this is pick 19, and I would just be going into it cold. I don't know what it's about. I've heard about it vaguely, so I'll see. And then the last one, number 20, is I just found this on my shelf. This is supposed to be a classic of nature writing, King Solomon's Ring by Konrad Lorenz, who apparently won the Nobel Prize or something. I don't know, back in the 70s? I'm not sure. But anyway, he started a whole section of I don't know what you call it, but it's studying behavior of animals in the wild. So he sort of is the father of that aspect of biology or whatever it is you call it. So, yeah. So those are my 20 books. And on Sunday, I'll find out what the pick is, what number they pick, and then that's the one that I will try to get read by June 1st. And all of these are books that I really want to read or reread, except maybe The Leopard. That wasn't on my radar, but, so we will see what it is. I'm kind of excited. I'm a little more excited about my granddaughter being born, but it is fun to do the classic spin. And it was fun to do a book haul of my shelves because, frankly, I get so jealous when I watch those book haul videos that people put up. It makes me really envious because I'm not buying books right now. Even though I'm really glad not to buy books, I think it's a really good thing to do. It is forcing me to read. I mean, I don't know why I needed that little external, pressure to, it's sort of self-imposed, right? But for some reason it's working for me, and I'm actually reading books that have been sitting on my shelves for just years and years and years. And I always felt a little guilty about it. So I sort of feel like a burden is easing off my shoulders because I'm starting to read through these books. So it's really cold out here, and I'm going to pack all these books up and go back in and sip my hot coffee, which is rapidly cooling. And I hope you have a good day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.